Hey there, friends. A while back, I wrote a blog post and it was like, here's what it looks like to have part of your job replaced by AI. And what I was trying to talk about there is to actually show people, because a lot of us hear about how much hype this stuff is, and there is a ton of hype out there. But what I want to do is continue to show people like these are the little things that are chipping away at some of the work you do today. So be the person that owns that and says, I'm going to help own that automation at my company. And then I'm going to go and work on a new area where I can create even more value. All right. So I just finished a conference last week and I want to come in and figure out how did I do? Did it have the impact that I thought it did? So maybe I should look at the region of the country that I was in. Well, I was in the United States. I can click on view countries and somebody in analytics might be like, well, you have to add in something here. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of clicks for me just to start. And then I got to create a filter for city. And that's just one question. So now I'm starting to play around, but then I want to know, I showed a QR code. There was mobile. This, my friends, is what's really cool. So what I've done is I've been working on bringing my data into BigQuery. So if you connect any data set, in this case, it's my analytics data, into BigQuery, I am then able to create a bunch of instructions on what I want it to look like and certain things about my analytics setup, which I wrote none of this for the instructions. After going through rounds and rounds, I asked Claude to write the instruction. And now let me show you what happened. So here's my prompt. Nothing crazy. I spoke at a conference yesterday. And then I said, give me a plan first. So that's what I like to say is, what would you look for? And then I'll approve your approach. So then I read it all and I just said, go for it. Then it goes using Claude MCP connected to Zapier MCP connected to BigQuery. It goes out and then it's like your spike the day of. Here's the conference day. This is how it looks for the week. So do you see that 7,000% increase in chatgpt.com? That, my friends, is bullshit. Someone hit my website with a bunch of things that the AI thought were ChatGPT, and it ended up being fraudulent traffic. I'll share that later. Then it looks at all these things. It looks at landing pages. It looks at all that stuff, and it's saying, you did great. Good job. So then it shows a traffic surge. It also goes ahead and looks at other cities in California on its own. So I didn't have to type in all those cities. And then you can see it just keeps going and it keeps analyzing. Give me a lot more than I actually needed, but then it was pretty helpful. Now, see this little prompt right here? Right there, that prompt. Are you sure about that ChatGPT spike? Time out, throw the flag. This is why we can't completely outsource things to AI, because it was like, hey, you did a great job. That ChatGPT thing, it was awesome. This is where your intelligence, your experience makes you sniff that something might be wrong. That doesn't mean the AI sucks. It means that I still have a role as a human. All right, I'm like, were most people visiting on their mobile? Because also I'm like, hey, it didn't think of that. I'm like, I showed a QR code that should show up as mobile traffic somehow. And then it gives me the answers. I have checked all of these to make sure they were right, or at least very, very close to being directionally right. And then I asked it just to put all your hypotheses in a table, show me the before and show me the after, and it did a pretty good job. All right, so now if you're still here, I want to show you how I troubleshot that spike. So first of all, what I love is that the spike got shown to me. That's awesome. So now you can see, I'm like, let me use Claude connected to my analytics data to see if this stuff really happened or not. So my team saw a massive spike in a blog post related to AI in the last week. Find that blog post for me. Notice I didn't tell it what the blog post was because I'm testing it. This is how you get to learn how good it is. And it found the URL and it said we have 850 page views. Now remember, originally it was like, you did a great job and got all this traffic from UTM source, ChatGPT, chatgpt.com. And it compares it to other traffic we're getting. But this is what I thought. I was like, were those visits spread out over time or did they spike in a certain amount of time? So then it runs. And it's like, oh, you got a bunch on one single day. And then here's your smoking gun at 8 a.m. You got most of the page views. Then it said, hey, it's got two different browsers. It's Chrome and Edge. And this looks like legitimate traffic. I'm like, BS. It says, what happened? You had a viral moment on ChatGPT. No, I didn't, dog. This is fake. So I was like, we have a hypothesis that somebody might have taken a URL from ChatGPT and left the UTM parameter in. Is that it? And it's like, your hypothesis is confirmed. And here's the source, ChatGPT, but the actual medium is null. I don't know what any of that means. What I do know is I later went on to say, do you have the ability to give me the region or the country? So you notice like, it's not answering everything for me. I have to nudge it and nudge it and nudge it. But then eventually it's like, oh, look at all your traffic sources. All those views came from these places in this amount of time. That sounds a little bit off because most of our visitors aren't from these places. And then when I saw Windows, I'm like, man, that's really interesting. And then I said, all right, if most people that have Macs, and you can see I'm doing all this in voice on my mobile while I'm walking. And it was like, it's weird that none of these people are on Macs, which confirms the bot increase. This is a bot. So I had to help Claude in this instance figure that out. That is the job to be done. Use these tools, find out where they make mistakes, and your value is to fill those holes. Also, I will tell you, if you have data sitting in BigQuery tables or somewhere, that you can connect through Zapier, MCP, the ability to be on your phone, literally walking around and asking questions about your data. It's pretty cool. We're going to keep checking the accuracy, but so far I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing as long as we lose a little bit of brain power with it.